So we're here. Archie, baby. I have an audience member this time who is not a human audience member. And maybe if he wants to pop down here, you guys will be able to meet him. But for right now, he's going to stay an audience member. Possibly a little secret to the viewers. He's for sure going to run down here, but we will wait and see. And he's one of the reasons that I will talk about today, that I've been away from the pod for about a month and some change, something like that. But we're back at it, back in the studio, a.k.a. the corner of my apartment, as you can see. I don't know if you could hear by that noise what the special guest and who the special guest is. I don't know if he's going to want to come up here, if he's going to want to just kind of vibe around down there. Do you want to come up here? All right, hold up. I'm going to show you guys our newest member of the pod who's jumping on right now. 1 second. Oh. Everybody say hello to Archie. Say hi. No, that's not a bite thing. Say hi to everybody. So this little bugger is the reason that, not the reason, just one of the reasons that I've kind of been MIA a little bit over the last month or so, because I've kind of been tending to dad duty as of late, more responsibilities. We got work stuff too, but he's chilling, biting on my clothes per usual. I want to make sure he doesn't fall, but everybody say hello to Archie. You are going to see a lot more of him. He is our beautiful, beautiful baby boy, mini dachshund. He is about 4.5 months old to date. We've had him for about a month and a half now, because I want to say we got him at about 3.5. It was 12 weeks. So we got him at about 3 months. So we've had him about a month and a half, actually. And he's currently scaring me with where he wants to go. I will let you go anywhere. Where do you want to go? If you want to chill here, you can chill. Yeah, you want to chill here? He's going to chill here. But no, we've had him for about a month and a half. He's an absolute light. He's an absolute angel, except when he turns into a shark, which is daily at the moment. He has his shark moments where he loves to bite just about everything, from cords, as you're witnessing right now, to our couch, our cushions, our pillows, our blankets, our bodies. I have countless bite marks all over my hand. He loves to bite Emma. He's currently digging for something, which I'm sure is in there. But everybody welcome Archie. And without further ado, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've gotten to dive in. I've gotten to talk. It's just been, everything's been hectic. From work's been hectic. We added a new member to the fam. Life's been hectic, so it's been tough to kind of, I know it seems like, it's been tough to find, an hour to set up and film. Funny enough, yeah, it has. Because, obviously this isn't the most edited podcast in the world. It's not the highest production, but I at least try to, set up a nice camera, have my lights, get the set and everything, and just try to be good with everything. And obviously that takes time and breakdown, and so I've been off for about a month and some change, but we're officially back. We're back. And I'm excited to be back, because this is one of the things I love to do the most. I love to sit here and talk. It's one of my favorite things. If nothing amounts to it, fuck it. But regardless, I just love to talk. I want to be able to, can you stop? I want to be able to interview cool people one day and just have fun conversations. Maybe not Netanyahu, but just like cool people nonetheless. I'm gonna have to have you go on the ground. Whatever. It's just a pant cord, right? Or a pant thing, whatever. All right, we're back. He's currently in timeout, and by timeout, I just mean on the couch. He can get down from the couch too. He has stairs. He knows where they are. No. Archie, go down your stairs. Go down your stairs. Yeah, see, this is part of the reason why I was like, filming a podcast is going to be tough. I'm going to have to definitely figure figure it out around his nap times because he's got energy time right now. But I see you. I want you to behave just a little bit. You know, like I already introduced you to the pod. They're going to love you. And you repay me by just biting me and being mean. It's kind of rude. Just a little bit rude. But regardless, I can see him. I got my entire couch is back there. I can see him up on the couch. But, okay, that took a little leeway of me trying to be dog dad at the moment. I'm a dog dad at home. M's out at work, so I account for Mr. Mans while we're at home. We have the best days that consist of napping, peeing, pooping, playing, some walks, what have you. But you're going to see more of him on the pod when he can behave a little bit, but that remains to be seen. So his time out is to go be comfy on the couch at the moment while I do this. I have a little barrier set up. If he's chilling, I'll bring him back on. But no, that was just a little insight as to where we've been on the pod recently, but just had some conversations with myself, and I'm like, you know what, like whether I can find 30 minutes or an hour or anything in between, I'm going to find it. I'm going to do it because it's what I want to do. If I can make this to be something that would be awesome, that's the goal. But if not, I just still have fun doing it. It keeps my mind creative. So that's the overall goal here. But regardless, welcome back to the podcast. We have a lot of fun things to talk about today. Been gone for a little bit. Work has been kind of crazy, but it's been fun. I'm officially a quote-unquote a talent manager now. That's my official role. Don't worry, you're not going to see any of my talent on the podcast because that's not, I would never use my job for that. That's not what I'm going for. And that's just, sorry, he was acting up yet again. And that's just not the vibe we're here for. You know, I'm not someone who would just like try to, it's just bad right now. I'm not someone who would try to like use his talent to do something like that, but that's the job role. So it's been fun. And you know, what I was talking about earlier, that's why it's been pretty hectic schedule-wise and, you know, just been here, there, and everywhere because he's gonna make it a nightmare to do a podcast. But that's okay. That's why... Okay, he's chewing on his bone. That's fine. But no, I would never do that, and I kind of just want to keep my things separate, but this is something I've wanted, you know, have been doing for years now. But that's officially where I'm at. So schedule-wise, I'm here, there, and everywhere. Location-wise, here, there, and everywhere. So that's why schedules have been a bit sporadic, haven't been able to be back. But I love my job. I love the people who I get to rep. I love work every day. It quite literally is something new every single day. You're half playing parent, guardian. You're half playing day-to-day manager, and then you're half playing money manager. And it's, I guess not half, but thirds. And it's crazy because truthfully, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I'm literally babysitting this, 20-something-year-old child. And then other times, you have good times, you have bad times, but regardless, it's a very fun line to work in if you're someone who likes to be on all the time. It's a very fun line of work to be in. I've enjoyed it heavily and, been doing it about 7-8 months now, and it's been a good time. So I will continue to update on my talent management journey. Don't know how long we'll be doing it, but I'm enjoying it. Since I've moved to LA, nothing's been a definite. I've gone from here to there to here to there, job wise, like just whatever it may be, and things just pop up in our eyes where they do. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. This is part of the story. Let's do it. Let's be a talent manager. Why not? Right? So that's what we've been doing recently. And, we've just been out here. So it's been enjoyable. And, I've kind of just enjoyed being able to be back. We're back. I'm feeling a little bit back. I like it. And you know who else is back as of recent? David Dobrik. David Dobrik, I would say, is certifiably back, where it was about maybe 2 or 3 months ago, he posted a vlog. It was where it was his transformation from him before to him getting ripped. And it didn't sit right with me at first, not because he's not back, or not because he was back. I love David Dobrik. I was very happy he was back. Just the seeing him ripped just did not seem natural. I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, literally, what is this? Didn't seem natural. Never hate on another man's body. But now he posted a new vlog, and at the end of the vlog, he said how it was going to be new vlogs every other week. So we're basically going to be getting 2 new vlogs a month. David Dobrik's back. I hear you. Archie's hyped that David Dobrik's back too. Very hype. I'll let you in here if you behave. This is going to be a hectic episode. He doesn't even know what to do. But no, Dobrik's back. His last video just gave the nostalgia of his other videos of him and his friends doing funny, stupid shit, ending with a fun bang, surprising Jason's kids with shit. It was a good video. It wasn't his extremely nostalgic video types, but again, it's 2025. People get older, people do new things, and it was cool. I definitely think this era of David Dobrik vlogs is going to be the traveling the world David. It's going to be a little more adulty. Like, obviously it was adulty before, but this one's probably just going to take it times 10. Okay, he's got his bone. I'm like, what are you doing? But I'm hyped because, again, I'm not sitting here saying I know everything that happens with certain situations. You know, I saw what happened. I made my judgment on it. Regardless, I'm just excited to see fun content again. I really am, because YouTube fucking sucks without, like, can you think about, like, where we were in 2016 when you had Logan, Jake, David Dobrik, Danny Duncan, who still made, but just, like, alt NELK at, like, right when they maybe 2017, 18. But regardless, like, just doing their thing, and YouTube was the most fun. I can only imagine living in LA during that time. Like, I moved to LA very much when it was on, like, the end cusp of all things, like, crazy YouTube. Like, it was right around when he got canceled. Logan was basically done with YouTube because he was on to Prime. Mr. Beast was really the only one, like, consistently pushing out videos, but, like, he's not even in LA, so it doesn't matter. So I can only imagine what living in LA during the 2016-ish YouTube boom was. It must have been insane. You had the Clout House. You had just the biggest YouTubers in the world doing the craziest shit. So it's just, I wish I could have been there. But regardless, David Dobrik's back. YouTube's back. We out here. What are you doing? You're being bad. You proved that I can't trust you in here. I put up, like, a little gate around, like, the podcast equipment and stuff. Just go up on the couch. Be a good boy. He doesn't want to be a good boy. He said, Dad, fuck you. He literally said, fuck you. But, so there's that. You know who else is back? South Park. So, South Park, shout out to them, just got, let me make sure they're not on my, no, they're not. South Park is back because they just got a new deal with Paramount for $1.5 billion for 5 new seasons of South Park, 10 episodes a season. I'm not going to say that's crazy because, again, I'm not in animation. I don't know what it takes to create a animated episode of things, but 10 episodes a year, 50 episodes for $1.5 billion is absurd. I saw someone do the math, and it's almost like $50 million an episode. Crazy. So hopefully I'm expecting a lot of things good, but why I say that is because their first episode of the new season just aired, and Paramount is probably, like, behind closed doors, like, Jesus Christ, like, fuck, like, we're in trouble / hell yeah, we made the right decision, because this season is going to go so, it's going to be talked about how old South Park was talked about, where South Park had, you know, the first 10 to 12 seasons were heavily talked about because it was still new-ish, obviously those early seasons, but it was new-ish to the point of if you were a celebrity who was featured on it, if some of the jokes and stuff like that were really crazy, it would make national or at least, like, blog-like news of people talking about it. And then it kind of became that, like, oh, it's South Park. So it, like, transcended the newness of talking about it all the time and just became like, oh, that's what South Park does. Like, you should be lucky if you're on South Park. They cross the line. They don't have line. All this type of stuff. And then the last, like, 10 or so seasons, it was still wildly successful. People still watched all the time, but it wasn't something that people were doing, like, think pieces on. It wasn't, because, again, it was so ingrained in society at that point that it's South Park. It's like Family Guy, where it's like, you know, if Family Guy were to create an episode coming at politicians or this or that, it would still probably be very funny, still be a great episode of TV, but it's not like that celebrity or whatever. It's not like, you know, this person would write a think piece on it and these news anchors would talk about it. It wouldn't be like that. this new season of South Park, I mean, the White House has already addressed the first episode of South Park because Trey Parker and Matt Stone, shout out to them, really, really went in on Trump in this first episode. I mean, it pictures him in bed with Saddam Hussein. The ending credit of an AI Trump wandering naked in the desert and seeing his dick. It truthfully made me think, like, why? Like, I cannot believe Paramount of all people let this on the air. Other types of companies, or if it was an internet thing that was posted, then like makes sense because you don't have to answer to anyone. You're not public. You don't have political relations like that. But Paramount of all people, I was like, I cannot believe. I'm still sitting here wondering, did they know? If they didn't know, what do they think now? If they did know, then like what? Yeah, like, you know, there's speculation that because the whole Colbert thing, Paramount owns his show as well. He got canceled. There's speculation that Colbert's show got canceled because of his remarks on Trump, because Paramount it's a whole thing of just like, why did all this happen? But regardless, this season of South Park is definitely going to be the same vibe as like the early seasons that were think pieces and national news was talking about. So Trey Parker and Matt Stone are back. Honestly, they were never gone, but just the hype around their absolutely amazing TV show that they created is so back, and I'm so excited. So shout out to that. Also in sad news, Hulk Hogan died today. 71 years old, American hero, not an actual hero, but just an absolute American legend. I mean, completely changed the wrestling space. It's funny where, again, obviously that was far earlier than like my generation, but there was a Netflix doc that came out on Vince McMahon and kind of basically start to finish of like starting the WWE to like where it's at now. And I just like, I guess something that's always funny to me is famous people back then to now, where sometimes I look at famous people who are older now and I'm like, oh, like you're cool, like you're awesome, etc. But I can't really get a gist of like what you were like in your heyday. Someone to me that's like a Drake, LeBron, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Kardashian style people, because those are my generation. So it's like, and I'm sure in 40 years when they're older, they'll still be mega famous, but people won't look at them as in like what they did in the moment. So Hulk Hogan in this documentary, I was like, holy shit. Like I always knew he was famous, but like I didn't think, you know, he was as big nationwide and almost basically worldwide as he was. Because again, the WWE is huge, and like in the early 2000s, you had your Stone Colds, your obviously the Rocks, but again, he wasn't what he was not, like what he is now. So I didn't know if like, oh, Hulk Hogan was just really big in the wrestling space and then fun pop culture lore Hulk Hogan. No, this dude was the star. And then obviously he went on to act and all this other stuff, etc. But he was so huge, and like he literally he's someone that, I mean, maybe even today, but back then, if like foreign people were to like, if you were to ask foreign people like, oh, give me 5 things that you'd think of with America, he'd be on there. Like it'd literally be like Hulk Hogan, McDonald's, gas stations, war, and like something else. Like Hulk Hogan as a person, like it wouldn't be like wrestling, it would be Hulk Hogan would be like that statue of like, that's what I think about with America, which, because that's the essence that he gave off, you know, American flag attire. He was fucking fake tanned as possible, absolutely jacked. Obviously he was very pro America. So crazy to see an icon like that die. Again, I did not grow up a WWE lover, didn't turn into one. I've never been the biggest WWE guy. Always respected it, awesome, but it was just never my thing. So I, you know, still think it sucks, but it didn't hit me as much as like, you know, other things that could happen, like other sports, other things that could happen to athletes. Because again, he wasn't my type of athlete, but I can still recognize like, holy shit, like he was, you know, as premier gets in the wrestling world. So rest in peace to Hulk Hogan and that crazy man. But no, then another thing that happened relatively recently was I saw an interview, and this is where it just gets beyond me, because I'm like, why are we even like, is it one of those things that we just let them talk because of how much money they have? Because at this point, I'm like, why are we entertaining this conversation whatsoever? And what I mean by that is Peter Thiel, the CEO, he was co-founder of PayPal, hedge fund guy, CEO of Planeteer, whatever, the thing that's going to end up stealing all of our data. But Peter Thiel, he had an interview with, I think it was the New York Times, I believe, and one of the questions they asked is, should humans continue to exist? Quite literally was the question. And he took about 30 plus seconds trying to answer the question if humans should continue to exist. Now, every single time, like, I'll hear a Zuckerberg, an Altman, a Musk, a Thiel, all these types of guys just, oh, I'm on 1%. I got to find a charger really quick. Pause. Apologies, as this phone, I don't have like a physical paper note sheet, so this phone is what I got. But going back to it, I don't know why, like, when it comes to these huge tech billionaires and everything, I am not in any way doubting their genius. Like, clearly, you know, the AI people, or, you know, Zuckerberg being able to code, Musk being able to make electric cars and go to fucking space, and, you know, Bezos working people to the ground to get us our products, which I'll give my thoughts on that at another time. But I don't know why we keep like, okay, cool, you made a really cool piece of tech, you made a thing of social media, you made AI. Love it. Why the fuck are we still like asking these people actual questions about like the human race? Like, why can we not like ask those questions to like, you know, big humanitarian people or scientists or this? Like, you know, people assume that like, oh, because you created this tech giant and you're worth $800 billion, that like you quite literally have to be correct about everything you talk about. And it just comes off so, I mean, arrogant to start, entitled, out of this world. Like, Peter Thiel was asked this question and then went on like a rant about the Antichrist. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't understand like why we continue to listen. Like, right, Peter Thiel, if he did a podcast where he was explaining how he started PayPal, what goes into making a venture fund, like what goes into building this business, what his day-to-day life is like, I would probably listen to that. I'm like, cool, like I want to be successful one day. I think that's cool. I'd like to hear your keys and how you did it, etc. Or like, I wouldn't mind listening to Zuckerberg describe like what coding is like, or like what, you know, how he started, like, you know, maybe not the social network, but in his eyes, what the startup was like for everything. But why am I listening to these guys talk about the fate of the world? Like, like people are literally picking the absolute cream of the crop people who don't know what the real world is like to give us answers on like what should happen with the real world. Like, it doesn't, like, you have the fucking moron weirdo who wants to shoot us to Mars. Like, I'm fine, I'm good on that. I'm gonna die on this planet, don't want to go to Mars. You have like Bill Gates coming out saying that like, oh, for this much money we can like shoot something into the sky that will like cover us from UV rays and all this type of. Also, another part, why is it when a billionaire makes these like claims, they quite literally like talk for the majority and nobody like in their mind is like, oh, it's not like a, you know, everyone together thing. Like, I'm gonna, like, if he gets enough funding for that, he's just gonna do it. Like, he's gonna shoot something in the sky over America, and like literally 400 million people are just gonna have to sit here like, oh, all right, tight, that's cool. I don't remember getting asked about that. Like, and so many other things are like, you know, consumer products are different because, you know, people want to make that argument with like, oh, well, what about what they put in the food and the drinks and this and that? Like, as annoying as it is, they can chalk that up to you're choosing to buy that. Like, you don't necessarily have to go and buy Doritos or Coke. Like, that, like with the whole artificial sugar, real cane sugar, whatever it may be. But back to Peter Thiel. Like, I have never seen somebody, like, I don't know who his PR people that must have been in the background of that video, like, Jesus Christ. Like, they just asked you if you think the human race should continue. That's all they asked you. And not only did you not answer the question for 30 seconds, like it was silence, you gave a terrible answer. Like, his answer was like that we're all supposed to be like, metaphysical and we're basically supposed to turn into robots. That's legitimately what Peter Thiel thinks we should do, is turn into robots. Like, I just don't understand. And like, maybe obviously it's because I'm not 100 billionaire myself, but like when I hear these guys talk, I'm like, what is it in you that you can't just go and fuck off forever? Like, if I became worth hundreds of billions of dollars, I would quite literally go and buy, like, you know, the most acres one could possibly buy, either in like near my hometown or in like some cool, like, you know, Colorado, this or that, make the coolest fucking compound ever with like 10 mansions for all my best friends and their family and yada yada. And I'm just like, we're literally just going to do the coolest shit every single day. Or not. You want to sleep, like, you want to do not cool. But like, I'm literally going to create like the coolest fucking basically like neighborhood, and we're going to build a fucking ski slope over there. We're going to have this, we're going to have whatever. Like, and I'm not saying everyone has to have the same dream, but why is your dream to like sit here and, you know, create robot humans? Like, go, honestly, go buy the yacht. Stop telling me about robot humans and just go buy the $800 million yacht. Go sail off the Amalfi Coast. Like, I don't care. It was a crazy, crazy interview to watch of like someone who truthfully is so far out of the realm of reality, telling a New York Times reporter that like his reasoning for why he doesn't think the human should for sure exist. It was the craziest thing in the world. And on another note, someone who's in that world, it came out a couple days ago, and on a lighter note, there's always these moments where you witness people diving in and speaking about their craft, and it's beautiful. Whether it's Jordan and LeBron talking about basketball, Brady talking about football, Gordon Ramsay talking about a meal that he cooked. Hunter Biden talking about crack was insane. That, like, everyone from whoever is like called that man all these names, bad stuff, whatever. And again, I don't know the guy. He could be horrible. Don't know. Sitting there watching that couple-minute video of him describing crack was like a magician talking about his work. It was insane. It was so articulate, so thorough, talked about the difference between crack and cocaine. It was insane. And like, to imagine that's Joe Biden's son, crazy. Like, that guy should have a documentary made about him. I would like, from everything that's came out about Hunter Biden, again, as this show knows, I'm not the biggest political guy. I don't care about, like, Hunter Biden is wildly entertaining. Just a crack addict for a ton of years, then got whatever, sober, chilling now, blah, blah, blah. And then now he's just describing what crack was like. It was like a chef kiss of like, wow, this is crazy. It was just masterful watching a mind like that just describe basically his greatest work, if you think about it. So shout out Hunter Biden. I'm trying to think. Oh, speaking of, because I was talking about Time Magazine and everything, I guess technically, you know, if you're a CEO or you own a publication, you can literally do whatever the hell you want. But Time released its 100 best podcasts of all time. It released a list in Time Magazine of what the 100 best podcasts of all time was. Maybe one day we'll get there. I don't know. But regardless, first off, bias my side / I legitimately do think it should be there. Pardon my take. Not being on Time's 100 best podcast is truthfully one of the craziest things ever, because not only like numbers wise is it the number one sports podcast in the world with basically one of the most loyal fan bases there is, and like creating movements and just doing all this stuff. There was other sports podcasts on there, and like Bill Simmons was on there. Love Bill Simmons' podcast. Think it should be on there for the sports aspect. It had something called the Tennis Podcast on there that had literal like tennis reporters, tennis journalists, all these people coming out being like, I've never heard of this show. Never have I heard of this show. And somehow it made Times 100. And so justice for Part of My Take, but as a longtime AWL, if I think I know Part of My Take, I think they were fine with that. I don't think they were that upset. They had some funny tweets about it, but I legitimately don't think they care. Like, it kind of plays into them of like being so big and continually like not getting credit for it. So that's my personal thought. But aside from that, again, Time picked 100 podcasts. 100. That's a lot of podcasts. They picked 100 podcasts that they dubbed the greatest podcasts of all time. Joe Rogan didn't make the cut. Now, before I go into that, I've never listened to any Joe Rogan podcast, actually. I've never once downloaded an episode. I never watched it on YouTube. I've seen social clips when he'll have fun comedians on or stuff like that, but I am not a Joe Rogan fan. Not a hater. I just don't watch Joe Rogan. So I'm not someone who... For you to not have quite literally the biggest podcast of all time. If you want to put it up there, probably has the craziest guest lineup of all time. Along with, I would put him up there at being one of the, deciders of the election as well with his interview style. To not put that in the top 100 podcast is mind-blowing. Like that right there, right? Like, not putting Part of My Take in there, still, I'm just like, okay, that's biased towards Barstool, fucked up, give the boys a chance. Come on now. They're good guys. Not putting Joe Rogan in Time's 100 best podcast, like, just cleaned out the bias. I'm like, that's literally as bias can go. And that's coming from someone who's not a Joe Rogan fan. He's undoubtedly... That's the same as Time putting their top 100 quarterbacks and Brady not being in it. Their top 100 basketball players and Jordan and LeBron not being in it. Like, it's crazy to me that was able to happen. And they had some of these podcasts that, like, again, I don't listen to every podcast. I don't know the importance of every podcast. No hate to anyone's on that list. Like, that's sick that they're on that list. I'm not saying anyone isn't deserving to be on that list, but the fact of like keeping the biggest sports podcast of all time and the biggest podcast of all time off of Time 100 best podcast is crazy to me. Very crazy. So that was just insane. Like, that was one of those, they should have released a statement being like, we hate Joe Rogan. We hate him. Because that would have at least explained it a little better as to like what the hell is going on here. But no, I thought that was crazy. On another one, I feel bad because on top of Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne died. Rock legend. Shout out Black Sabbath. I don't want to be that guy. I feel like this one was coming. Like Hulk Hogan, kind of, because I mean his heart, whatever. But like Ozzy, I mean, if you saw videos of him, you kind of had to think like it was on the horizon somewhere. Not making light of it, not trying to be but he's one where I'm like, okay, like that sucks. Like, rock legend, icon, like just an absolute icon. But also like he was one for me that, again, it's because I'm not in that age range, all that type of stuff. If you were to tell me that he passed away 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have believed you. I would have been like, oh, I don't remember when that happened. But like, okay. Because he's old, he's clearly not functioning as well as others, but he passed away. He's had some just, honestly, like, again, and it kind of shows that I know Ozzy not for music. Like, Black Sabbath is absolutely legendary in the rock scene, but like, I didn't know him from music to start. Like, I knew him as a rock star, never listened to his music. I just knew him as the funny dude who talked funny and said Sharon all the time and talks like, very funny, you know what I mean? So kind of funny when you see how different generations know people, but rest in peace to Ozzy. It's crazy. And I think with that, there needs to be an investigation on what Trisha Paytas has going on. Because Malibu Barbie, her first daughter, the second she was born was literally like within minutes of Queen Elizabeth dying. her baby now that she's naming Aquaman, Ozzy Osbourne. And then there was one more like world leader or someone who died the second her third kid was born as well. And I think we need to investigate Trisha Paytas. Like what does she have going on behind the scenes? What type of magic and prayers, whatnot? Because you are quite literally rebirthing world leaders and like icons and stuff and just naming them like Aquaman and Barbie. So it was the third time that that's happened. I forget who the third one was, but the fact that like it wasn't within a day or two or a month or whatnot, like we would see the breaking news of like this person has passed away. And then like 20 minutes later, I'd see like, oh, Trisha Paytas gave birth to a new baby. And it was like clockwork 3 times now. So I think there's something going on. I don't know if Trisha Paytas is aiding at the killing of these people so that her babies can be born, or if the universe is quite literally trying to make Trisha Paytas the most powerful mother of all time. I don't know the answer to that question. I would like to know the answer to that question. But it's crazy that it wasn't once, it wasn't twice. It's been 3 times now that her baby has been born in unison with the death of someone very famous. So I just kind of thought that was really crazy that that's just like a thing now. But yeah, it's crazy to me. But I'm trying to think of, oh my God, one thing that I was going to talk about because, hold up, work text that I'm excited about is that, again, since we got our baby boy, obviously we've been a little more home. Obviously we crate train, we're trying to let him out and everything, but don't want to like continuously leave him home all the time. But we haven't been out and about as much, but I miss the movies. We used to be on like a movie a week type of grind, but that sense had to stop as of late, which is okay. But I'm looking like it is going to be a sick rest of the year for horror movies because we have Weapons, which is going to be insane. One of my friends who works for IMAX, Christian, shout out Christian, already saw it and said it was crazy. And it's going to be an insane movie. I talked about it maybe 3-4 episodes ago. He just made the weirdest noise. But after Weapons, we have Black Phone 2, the first Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. Good. Was it Ethan Hawke? I think it was Ethan Hawke. Was good, so I'm excited for the second one. The third one, we have Him, which is the new Jordan Peele movie, which is going to be great. We have the last Conjuring called Last Rites, which I think is going to be, I mean, every Conjuring movie has been great, honestly. They're keeping the same cast, the story, everything of Conjuring has been great. Then Keeper and Alien Earth. So, and it's already been, 2024 was an insane year for horror too. So I'm excited for what 2025 brings. I'm a big horror fan of movies. It's already been, and in 2025 already, we've had Sinners to start out. There's been other horror movies, but just at the moment, it's just been Sinners. So that's been the main one. Let me check him really quick. God. What are you doing? Oh, you're biting him. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. He was just biting his bone. But no, it's already been a really good like start of the year for horror. It's going to end out really good. Obviously, they'll have It Chapter 2. We had It Chapter 1 last year. So it's going to be a good year for horror, you know. And that goes into, I was just about to say, I'm a movie buff. And I like movies. Obviously, a big movie fan. Love to go watching movies all the time. One thing that's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I don't know if it's just me being a hater or not, so let me know if it's me being a hater, but one of my favorite things, okay, let me start it back so the thought can be better. I am a big movie guy. I love watching movies. One of my biggest pet peeves is when celebrities do the letterboxed interviews on the red carpet. And what I mean by that, I live for the letterboxed reviews. I think it's such a cool thing. I've had the app for a while anyways. I love that they were like, you know, they've started this whole cool thing on the carpet to review celebrities for favorite movies. What annoys the shit out of me, and everyone has their own taste, I'm not saying it, but like you'll get some people that'll come on the carpet that will be real, and they'll be like, my 4 favorite movies are like Free Willy, The Dark Knight, Inglourious Bastards, and Happy Gilmore, like, right? And then other people, like, they'll name 4 movies that, like, oh, this one was a Slovenian film that actually never made it to light and only 3 people have seen it, but it's the most masterful one. This is a Japanese film from 1962. This one was made in America, but it was actually, shot on a clock and blah, blah. Like, it's just I just feel like people are trying to be so much deeper than they really are, like, than true movie people. Like, again, I guarantee you, the movie man himself, if you were to go ask Tom Cruise right now, do or die, what are your 4 favorite movies of all time that you would put on your Mount Rushmore? I guarantee you at least 2 of them would be, like, very widely known movies that people love because he knows it. And again, maybe that's just me being annoying and a hater, but, like, and I'm not saying you can't have these, out there films that not a lot of people have seen or that are not American. Nothing. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just saying some of these are literally like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what? Just be normal for a second. Like, not a single person has heard of any of these movies that you have put on your list. And I know you're trying to come off as the really deep actor that blah, blah, blah. But, like, you're not. Again, like, if your Leos and your Tom Cruises and your Daniel Day-Lewis's and your all these type of like, if they came up with some crazy shit, I'd be like, all right, like, you live for this. This is you. I'll give you that. They probably won't, if I'm being honest. It's always these random people that, like, are just coming up. And sometimes even, like, I'll see, like, a 20-year-old, and they'll, like, say the craziest film from, like, the 70s. I'm like, you did not watch that. And I know if you did, you didn't like it. I'm sorry. I know that. There's no chance you did. I'm sorry. You didn't follow along. You didn't like it as much. You just wanted to put it on there because you thought you'd appear more deep. And I don't know. I for sure am hating right now. I'm absolutely probably hating. But I don't know if I'm the only one that is annoyed by that. But that's just my rant of the day. And yeah, like, you're not winning a trophy for that, for giving the weirdest fucking take on your favorite movie. But yeah, that's my movie rant. Speaking of trophies, I will say one of my favorite athletes who clearly does not want to be famous is Scottie Scheffler. I have to admit, I have to put my hand up. I'm officially more and more getting into golf now. I'm heavily enjoying it. After the PGA Tour in Ireland recently that he just won, I watched the entire thing. I'm in it. Golfers are more interesting to me. There's a bigger list. And I know these are the big dogs I'm going to name, but, you have your Scottie Schefflers, your Brooks Koepkas, your Xander Schauffele's, your Rorys, your DeChambeaus, your, obviously, like, Phil's still golfing, Tony Finau. Like, I'm officially getting, I can feel it. I can feel golf just, like, almost there. And I want to go play more. I don't know what's going on with me, but, like, golf has enthralled me a little bit. I'm not someone who's, who has it on 24/7, but I'm heavily enjoying golf more. I'll just put it that way. And Scottie Scheffler is, first off, he's 29. He looks like he's like 45, which is no diss to him. Like, what he's done at 29 is just absolutely absurd. Like, truthfully, shout out to Scottie Scheffler. It's insane. But it was funny. He gave an interview maybe like a week ago after winning yet another thing. And they're like, oh, like, what does it feel? Basically one of those, like, what does it feel to be the top? And he was like, dude, like, this shit's not fulfilling. Like, I love golf, obviously, but, like, 2 minutes after you win, then what? Then it's like, what's for dinner? What's for this? And I'm like, that was so real. Like, he was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, obviously he does. And, like, he corrected it later on when he was just like, no, like, I just get in those headspaces of, like, sometimes you don't feel fulfilled doing this, or, like, what's next and all this type of stuff. But it was just funny, like, the way he gave the interview, he was just like, dude, I don't care. I really, like, this doesn't make me happy. Like, I'm just doing this at this point. I'm just winning. Like, he's truthfully just winning because, like, why not? That's what it sounded like. It wasn't that, but it was just really funny that that's what it sounded like, because he was like, whatever. And then I was joking with my dad or some of my older friends being like, is it safe to say we can finally call Scottie the GOAT? Like, is he the GOAT? Until I went and looked at Jack Nicklaus and Tiger's, like, numbers. And I realized, like, yeah, love Scottie Scheffler. I don't think he's going to be the GOAT numbers wise. I just don't think it's possible. Like, seeing those dudes' numbers, Like, I think Scottie has like 17 PGA wins or whatnot, and both of them have like 84 or something like that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, absolutely absurd to me that they were even able to hit those numbers in like the short span that they did. But yeah, Scottie Scheffler, he seems awesome. He's going to be the new Happy Gilmore movie, which I'm so excited about. And last night I just showed Emma the original Happy Gilmore for the first time ever. She's never watched it. I know. I was very, very disappointed too. You don't need to tell me. I was very disappointed. But showed her the first Happy Gilmore. She thought it was amazing. And I was like, I know. Like, if you watched it, 15 years ago when we all did, you would have thought it was amazing. But I even caught myself literally dying laughing. And it's a amazing movie. I'm really hoping that the second one lives up to it. A couple of people I worked with got to actually meet with Adam Sandler a little bit ago. So I thought that was pretty sick. And yeah, I'm excited for Happy Gilmore 2. It's got an insane cast. Obviously the same people, but then you have like Scottie's in it, Bad Bunny, Travis Kelce, so many people. Like, I think I'm excited to see what the end goal of that one is, if I'm being completely honest. So, and right now golf's the only like sport. I'm not a baseball watcher, so golf's really the only sport out there because I miss football. We're about a month and a half away from football. I don't know. I can't wait for Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays, baby. I cannot wait for it. And it's funny where I swear it's when you get older, because I always used to watch football, but it wasn't until I was in my like 24-ish age range where I really was like, oh, I'm going to watch this shit and like really dive into it and love it and like play fantasy and do this and that. So I can't wait for that because I love being able to like have something to watch. I know that's so Gen Z of me, but I truthfully love being able to have something to watch on TV, something to look forward to, because I don't have any TV shows right now. And check my fantasy team weekly, because it's been the first year last year that I actually got to do fantasy, because back home, my best friends have a fantasy league that my best friend Austin and I used to be a part of. It was during our era of like, we don't give a fuck about this at all. Like, we'll watch football for our convenience, but we don't really care. So Aussie and I would enter the league, draft our team, and then never once look at our roster ever again. Forget we even had the app, forget we were in the league. And that would piss so many people off, because of course you want to trade, they could have gotten these players, whatever. And our teams would be pretty good. We would never win, but we'd be all right. And we would just never look at it until our friends legitimately like banned us. They're like, you're not in our league anymore. You two truthfully cannot enter our league anymore. So Aussie and I have a lifetime ban on our fantasy football league. We're trying to get it lifted. If I have anything to say about it, me and him will just duo up as a team. It won't be just like, two separate teams. It'll be me and him. He can be our CEO and president. I'll just be our general manager. Call it a day. He's a little bit smarter than me, so he can play the CEO, president role. I'll just be GM of day-to-day activities. But yeah, we got banned. I'm hoping we can get back. We're locked up at the moment, but remains to be seen. If not, me and him, I'm talking directly to Aussie. We'll just create our own league. We'll just literally just you and me. You and me will just create a league and just play a one-on-one. It'll be so much better than everybody's leagues. Our teams are going to be so good. You have no idea. Oh, and then also in news, Biebs. 2 different ones. Oh my God, I almost forgot. But we'll start out with Biebs. The Biebs dropped an album, and it was fire. From Yukon to Daisies to Go Baby. Like, he actually has some bangers on there. I gave it, for me personally, like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I didn't think, obviously, it was his best project he ever dropped, but I actually thought it was very solid. He hit like an R&B vibe. And he's got hits on there. He really does. And it's a vibe. He's doing it on his own terms. Like, this is his own thing. Like, he's technically signed to someone, because you always are. He's with Def Jam. But he had like full creative control of this one and everything. And I know recently I called it, where with Bieber over the last like year, everybody's like, oh my God, he's on drugs. Oh my God, he's crashing out. He's crazy, blah, blah. First off, when doesn't everybody at least crash out sometimes? Like, Bieber's crashing out, so does everybody. Like, everybody has a crash out. I like to think I'm mentally strong and, pretty poised. I crash the fuck out sometimes. It's usually personal inside or like by myself, but we'll crash the fuck out. Everyone I know crashes the fuck out. So that was the first one where I didn't get it. Second, everyone's like, oh, Biebs is this, Biebs is that, blah, blah, blah. I personally think he's just a weird dude. He's just a goofy, weird dude. Like, if you are Bieber and you have been one of the most famous people on earth since you were like 15, nothing about you is going to be normal. You're going to, at these ages, you're going to try to start regaining that and trying to be normal. You don't know what's normal, so you're trying new shit. Like, this thing is all new to him. So I personally took all of his things as like, he's just being a little weird and trying to be normal. And then I'll never understand the videos of a celebrity hitting a breaking point with paparazzi and everybody's like, oh, they're lost their mind, they're on drugs. What? Like, imagine you're Bieber. Paparazzi is following you around literally everywhere you go for the rest of your life. Not some places, not everywhere you go for the rest of your life. And you have to know in the back of your head that, like, if you say something negative to them, the entire internet is going to call you a drug addict and that he's losing. Do you know how crazy that would be? Like, again, I'll get annoyed if, like, you know, I'm being pestered by friends, like, not actually, but not like a freak out, but I'll be like, yeah, I need to be left alone for a second. Imagine people who physically won't leave you alone. They're getting paid by other people to make sure they don't leave you alone. And if you have a freak out on them, the entire internet is going to be saying you're on drugs and you're going crazy. Like, insane. So that was another one where I'm like, I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just fucking tired of it. Like, sorry. Like, I know he put himself in this life, but still, like, you can get tired of it. So that, and then everybody being like, I can't believe, don't get me wrong, he had a couple moments like the Vogue cover and this and that where, like, I was like, Biebs, come on, Biebs, what are we doing? But everyone's like, I can't believe Haley's dealing with this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm sure they're, like, in the nicest way, like, for both of them, like, they don't need to stay with each other. There's nothing, like, if she truthfully had enough, she'd be gone. Vice versa. Like, it's just, I guarantee you they love each other. And, like, they don't, like, obviously they love each other. But, like, they don't need each other in terms of, like, emotionally, probably. Like, as it should. Like, you know, you want it. It's a loving relationship. But from the fact of, like, everybody saying, oh, I can't believe, like, she's still with him, blah, blah, blah. When she posted that story promoting his album, that's when I knew. I was like, yep, they're fine. Because if they were fighting or she hated him or they were on the outs, whatever, she would have, you know, for PR purposes, posted, you know, album cover or whatever, being like, go listen. Like, oh my God. Or just no text. Her saying, is it not clocking to you, you fucking losers? Chef's kiss. She's one of those people that everything she does is cool. Hailey Bieber is one of those people that everything she does is cool to me. Like, even like that line, she could have been like, she could have said something long-winded and it would have been still great, but whatever. But is it not clocking to you fucking losers? Mic drop. Mic drop. Fuck you. Like, that's literally what it was. And I was just like, yep, they're fine. Because you wouldn't have gone that hard. Like, you wouldn't have been like, it's not fucking clocking to you using his thing to you fucking loser. I was like, yep, chef's kiss. So his album came out. It's fire. Him and Hailey killing it. Salute to the Bieb family, truthfully. Next off, my guy Travis Scott. Jack Boys 2, baby. Fucking fire. As someone who's a huge Travis Scott fan, a lot of the songs being just Travis Scott. No, I love Don Toliver. Check West is fine. And the other features are great. I guess technically my favorite song does have Playboi Carti and Future on it. Where Was You? But a lot of the songs being just Trav, I actually thought it was, I think this one is better than Jack Boys 1. People obviously like Jack Boys 1 better because there's a couple more hits on there, which I agree with. But this one, production-wise and replay value for me, is better than Jack Boys 1. And yeah, like right now, if I could go, my favorite songs on Jack Boys 2 would be Kick Out, Dumbo, Where Was You, and PBT. Those are my favorite ones right now. I'm excited. I wonder if he'll come out with a, what the hell? What is this? Oh, I love when I write a script for my clients and they just fucking follow it word for word. Got to send that in. But regardless, Travis's album was fire. I was very, very happy to see it. Obviously, I'm a big Trav fan, so I'm going to be biased. If I'm being completely honest, I'm probably going to love it anyways. But I would rank this as, yeah, I'd rank this one, Jack Boys 2, out of Jack Boys albums, not Travis albums. But I do rank this one better than the original Jack Boys. So I love that. And that's really all in the music scene for me recently. Oh, speaking of rankings, I saw Chicks in the Office do it. Shout out Chicks in the Office, Rhea and Fran. That they ranked their favorite streaming services. And I talk about this all the time of like what ones are better for movies, better for TV, et cetera, et cetera. If I had to rank 5, I know there's more, but if I had to rank top 5 streaming services for me personally, and whatever's after 5, whatever. But top 5 streaming services for me would have to be HBO Max, Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, and Peacock can be tied. HBO Max is just at like undoubtedly the movie king of the streaming world right now, undoubtedly, and arguably that's like they're the only ones that are like either better than or touching Netflix for best original TV show. Because I mean everything from Entourage, The Wire, Sopranos. I know there's so many more I'm forgetting, and I apologize for that. But HBO is just goated with White Lotus. Goated with TV shows, and their movies are just insane. Second, being Netflix again, because their Netflix original shows are fucking awesome. Whether they've been like right, obviously you have Stranger Things, you have Outer Banks, you have Ozark, you have Riverdale's not a Netflix original, whatever. But then you have like good ass movie lineup. Nobody in the world is touching Netflix at documentary making. So Netflix 2, Prime Video 3 because of their movies. Obviously they don't have a lot of great TV shows on there, but movies. And then 4 and 5, Hulu and Peacock are basically just because they have an okay amount of TVs and movies each. Nothing too crazy to me, nothing too outstanding. So those are my 5 streaming services. I would love to hear anybody else's streaming services. But we are winding down here, so I want to give my quick little check-in, check-out, and wake-up call segments. Check-in. I'm pissed because I already said it, but I'm going to say it again regardless. Check-in is horror movies. They're checking in right now. They're not going anywhere. They have a long stay, which I'm excited about because I'm a horror fan. It's going to be a great slate for 2025 into 2026. The start of 2025 was already awesome. I'm excited to see the rest. I will be seeing literally all the ones I mentioned in theaters. And it's going to be, I can't wait for fall to just like rewatch these horror movies in the fall and be in my fall shit. I can't wait for fall. I'm over summer. Just going to put that out there. But that's my check-in. And my check-out is Netflix. My check-out is NELK Boys. They got to check out. They got to go get right. They got to go check in somewhere else. Because, man, again, I'm not the most political sad, but like interviewing a war criminal who's like kind of this generation's Hitler is kind of crazy. And for them to obviously be like, well, of course we're going to interview the biggest people and blah, blah, blah. But there's a line. Like, again, like, right, Trump. Whether you agree or you don't agree with his views, if you want to make an argument to me of like why you want a sitting president on your podcast, fair. For our country, fair. I get it. Or, you know, a lot of people have their hate for their Elon Musks or their Bezos or their billionaires or there's that. If you want to have them on your podcast, fair. I get it. But like a war criminal that's like, you know, the cause of hundreds of thousands of death and starving children and like, there's a line. There really is. Like, not everything is content to that point. I get it in their minds. They're like, oh, well, like, we had an opportunity. Of course we're not going to turn down interviewing someone like this. You can turn that one down. Like, you can. And again, did I go to school for journalism? No. Am I the most savvy with asking questions and shit? Do I even have a big famous podcast? No. But like, you watch that, like, how can you look at what's going on in Gaza and sit there and interviewing the man behind it? It's crazy to me. It really is. It was just poor taste. Not everything's content like that. It was just bad work. Bad work, NELK Boys. Go back to just partying, doing what we, like, as fans, like, got you famous for. Like, go back to having fun and shit. Like, that's just me personally. I'm not trying to put them in a bubble, but, like, that just didn't hit. That one just wasn't it. So, that's my checkout. Those are my segments for today. Obviously, this podcast was very here, there, and everywhere and very hectic. So apologize for the craziness. I'm glad you guys got to meet Archie. You will meet him some more. He's over there playing with his bone. He had a little naughty period, so we just wanted to let him chill out for a second. But regardless, as usual, appreciate whoever's going to come here and watch. I know we're a little bit unorganized. I know we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. We're going to try to continue to get there, continue to be more consistent. I plan on it now that I actually can maybe make a cool little setup. But until then, I appreciate you all. And next time, peace.